And it happened when the kings of the Amorites who were beyond the Jordan, and the kings of Phoenicia by the sea, heard that the Lord God had dried up the Jordan River from before the sons of Israel, when they crossed over, that their hearts melted, and they were panic-stricken, and there was no understanding in them, from before the sons of Israel. Now about that time the Lord said to Jesus, Make for yourself flint knives out of sharp rock, and sit down and circumcise the sons of Israel. And Jesus made sharp flint knives and circumcised the sons of Israel at the place called Hill of Foreskins. And how Jesus completely purified the sons of Israel, as many as were born on the way, and as many as were uncircumcised of those who had come out of Egypt. All these Jesus circumcised. For Israel had gone about in the wilderness of Madbarites for 42 years, wherefore most of their warriors who had come out of the land of Egypt were uncircumcised, those who disobeyed God's ordinances, concerning whom he also determined that they would not see the land that the Lord had sworn to their forefathers to give to us, a land flowing with milk and honey. And in their place he raised up their sons, whom Jesus circumcised, because they remained uncircumcised on the way. Now when they had been circumcised, they kept quiet there, remaining in the camp until they were healed. And the Lord said to Jesus, son of Naue, On this very day I have taken away the reproach of Egypt from you. And he called the name of that place Galgala. And the sons of Israel kept the Pascha on the 14th day of the month, from evening at sunset at Jericho, on the opposite side of the Jordan in the plain. And they ate from the grain of the land, things unleavened and fresh. On this day the manna ceased, after they had eaten from the grain of the land, and the sons of Israel no longer had manna, and they enjoyed the fruit of the country of the Phoenicians in that year. And it happened when Jesus was at Jericho, that he looked up with his eyes and saw a person standing before him, and his sword was drawn in his hand. And Jesus approached and said to him, Are you one of us, or on the other side of our adversaries? Then he said to him, As commander-in-chief of the force of the Lord, I have now come. And Jesus fell face down onto the earth, and he said to him, Master, what do you order your domestic? And the commander-in-chief of the Lord said to Jesus, Loosen the sandal from your feet, for the place where you stand is holy. And Jericho was completely closed up and fortified, and no one came out from it, nor went in. And the Lord said to Jesus, Look, I am delivering Jericho into your control, and its king in it, mighty ones in strength, and you station around it the warriors in a circle. And it shall be, as soon as you sound with the trumpet, let all the people shout together, and when they shout, the walls of the city will fall spontaneously, and all the people shall enter, each one rushing headlong into the city. And Jesus the son of Naue went in to the priests and spoke to them, saying, Charge the people to go around and surround the city, and let the warriors pass by in arms before the Lord. And let 7 priests holding 7 sacred trumpets proceed in this manner before the Lord, and let them signal vigorously. And let the ark of the covenant of the Lord follow, and let the warriors go before, and the priests who bring up the rear behind the ark of the covenant of the Lord, as they walk and trumpet. And the people Jesus commanded, saying, Do not shout, and do not let anyone hear your voice until the day he himself tells you to shout, and then you shall shout. And when the ark of the covenant of God had gone around the city, it immediately went back into the camp and lodged there. And on the 2nd day Jesus rose in the morning, and the priests took up the ark of the covenant of the Lord. And the 7 priests carrying the 7 trumpets passed on before the Lord. And afterwards the warriors entered, and the rest of the crowd behind the ark of the covenant of the Lord. And the priests sounded with the trumpets. And all the rest of the crowd encircled the city from close at hand, and went back again into the camp. Thus they kept doing for 6 days. And on the 7th day they rose at dawn, and marched around the city 7 times. And on the 7th circuit the priests trumpeted. And Jesus said to the sons of Israel, Cry out, for the Lord has given you the city. And the city shall be devoted, it and all that is in it, to the Lord Sabaoth. Only keep safe Rahab the prostitute, her and what is in her house. But you keep well away from what is devoted, so that you yourselves do not covet and take any of what is devoted, and make the camp of the sons of Israel a devoted thing, and annihilate us. And all silver or gold or bronze or iron shall be sacred to the Lord. It shall be carried into the treasury of the Lord. And the priests sounded with the trumpets, and as soon as the people heard the sound of the trumpets, all the people at the same time raised a great and strong shout, and the whole wall fell down all around, and all the people went up into the city. And with the edge of the sword Jesus devoted it and all that was in the city, from man even to woman, from young man even to old, and even to calf and draft animal. And Jesus said to the 2 young men who had served as spies, Go into the woman's house, and bring her out from there, and all that is hers. And the 2 young men who had spied out the city went into the house of the woman, and brought out Rahab the prostitute, and her father, and her mother, and her brothers, and all that was hers and her kindred. And they set her outside the camp of Israel. And the city was burned with burning, with all that was in it. Only things of silver and gold and bronze and iron did they give, to be brought into the treasury of the Lord. And Rahab the prostitute and all her father's house Jesus kept alive, and it has dwelled in Israel until this very day. For she hid the spies whom Jesus sent to spy out Jericho. And Jesus swore on that day before the Lord, saying, Cursed be the person who shall build that city. At the cost of his firstborn he shall found it, and at the cost of his youngest he shall set up its gates. And thus did Ozan of Bethel. At the cost of Abiron his firstborn he founded it, and at the cost of his youngest, although he escaped, he set up its gates. And the Lord was with Jesus, and his name was in all the land. And the sons of Israel committed a major offense, and appropriated for themselves part of what was devoted. And Achor, son of Carmi, son of Zambri, son of Zerah, of the tribe of Judah, took from what was devoted, and the Lord was furiously angry with the sons of Israel. And Jesus sent men to Gai, which is near Bethel, saying, Spy out Gai. And the men went up and spied out Gai. And they returned to Jesus and said to him, Let not all the people go up, but let about 2,000 or 3,000 men go up and take the city by siege. Do not lead up there the whole people, for they are few. And about 3,000 men went up, and they fled before the men of Gai. And of them the men of Gai killed up to 36 men. And they pursued them from the gate, and they crushed them on the slope. And the heart of the people was terrified and became like water. And Jesus tore his clothes, and Jesus fell on the ground face down before the Lord until evening, he and the elders of Israel, and they threw dust on their heads. And Jesus said, I pray, Lord, why has your servant brought this people across the Jordan, to hand them over to the Amorites so as to destroy us? If only we had remained and been settled beyond the Jordan. And what shall I say, since Israel has turned its neck before its enemy? And when the Canaanite and all the inhabitants of the land hear, they will surround us and wipe us out from the land. And what will you make of your great name? And the Lord said to Jesus, Stand up. Why is it that you have fallen upon your face? The people have sinned and transgressed the covenant that I made with them. And they have stolen from what is devoted, and put it into their own belongings. The sons of Israel shall not be able to stand before their enemies. They shall turn their neck before their enemies, because they have become what is devoted. I will be with you no longer, unless you remove what is devoted from yourselves. Stand up, sanctify the people, and tell them to be sanctified for tomorrow. This is what the Lord God of Israel says. What is devoted among you, you will be unable to withstand before your enemies until you remove what is devoted from among you. And all of you shall be gathered together in the morning by tribes. And it shall be that the tribe that the Lord shows, you shall bring it near by districts. And the district that the Lord shows you shall bring near by household. And the household that the Lord shows you shall bring near by man. And the one who is indicated shall be burned with fire, and all that he has, because he has transgressed the covenant of the Lord, and has committed lawlessness in Israel. And Jesus rose early and brought the people near by tribes, and the tribe of Judah was shown, and it was brought near by districts, and the Zerai district was shown, and it was brought near by man, and Achor, son of Zambri, son of Zerah, was shown. And Jesus said to Achor, Give glory today to the Lord, God of Israel, and make your confession, and tell me what you have done, and do not hide it from me. And Achor answered Jesus and said, Truly I have sinned against the Lord, God of Israel. Thus and so have I done. I saw in the spoil a beautiful, many-colored carpet, and 200 didrachmas of silver, and 1 golden tongue-shaped object of 50 didrachmas. And I coveted them and took them. And look, they are hidden in the ground in my tent, and the silver is hidden underneath them. And Jesus sent messengers, and they ran to the tent into the camp. And these things were hidden in the tent, and the silver was underneath them. And they brought them out of the tent and brought them to Jesus, and the elders of Israel, and they set them before the Lord. And Jesus took Achor, son of Zerah, and brought him up to the ravine of Achor, and his sons and his daughters, and his bull calves and his draught animals, and all his sheep, and his tent and all his belongings, and all the people with him. And he brought them up to Achor. And Jesus said to Achor, Why have you destroyed us? May the Lord destroy you as also today. And all Israel stoned him with stones, and they set up over him a great heap of stones, and the Lord ceased from burning anger. Therefore he named it Achor until this day. And the Lord said to Jesus, Do not fear, nor be afraid. Take with you the men, all the military men, and get up, go up to Gai. See, I have given into your hands the king of Gai and his land. And you shall do to Gai as you did to Jericho, and its king. And the spoil of the cattle you shall carry away as spoil for yourself. Now set for yourself an ambush against the city behind. And Jesus and all the military people got up to go up against Gai. And Jesus picked out 30,000 men mighty in strength, and sent them off by night. And he commanded them, saying, You lie in ambush behind the city. Do not be far from the city, and all of you shall be ready. And I and all those with me will approach the city. And it shall be that when the inhabitants of Gai come out against us, as also before, then we shall flee from before them. And when they come out after us, we will draw them away from the city. And they will say, They are fleeing from before us, as also previously. And you shall rise up out of the ambush and go into the city, and you shall act according to this word. See, I have commanded you. And Jesus sent them off, and they went to the ambush, and lay between Bethel and Gai, from the sea of Gai. And Jesus early in the morning mustered the people, and they went up, he and the elders before the people to Gai. And all the military people with him went up, and as they went, they came opposite the city to the east. And the ambush of the city was at the sea. And it happened, when the king of Gai saw this, that he hurried and went out to meet them directly in battle, he and all the people who were with him. And he did not know that there was an ambush against him behind the city. And Jesus and Israel saw it, and retreated from before them. And they closely pursued after the sons of Israel, and they themselves went away from the city. There was no one left in Gai who did not closely pursue after Israel. And they left the city open, and closely pursued after Israel. And the Lord said to Jesus, Stretch out your hand with the javelin that is in your hand toward the city, for I have given it into your hands. And the ambush shall rise up quickly out of its place. And Jesus stretched out his hand, the javelin, toward the city, and the ambush rose up quickly out of its place. And they came out when he stretched out his hand, and they went to the city and took it, and they hurried and set the city on fire with fire. And when the inhabitants of Gai looked around behind them, then they beheld smoke rising up out of the city to the sky, and they no longer had anywhere to flee this way or that way. And Jesus and all Israel saw that the ambush had taken the city, and that the smoke of the city rose up to the sky, and they changed course and struck down the men of Gai. And these came out from the city to meet them, and they were between the camp, some on one side and some on the other side, and they struck them down until no one was left of them, who survived and escaped. And they took the king of Gai alive, and brought him to Jesus. And when the sons of Israel had finished slaying all those in Gai, those in the plains and on the mountain on the descent, there where they fully pursued them, then Jesus turned back to Gai and struck it with the edge of the sword. And those who fell that day, from man even to woman, were 12,000, all the inhabitants of Gai, except for the livestock and the spoils that were in the city, all things that the sons of Israel took as spoil, according to the ordinance of the Lord, as the Lord had instructed Jesus. And Jesus burned the city with fire. He made it an uninhabited mound forever until this day. And he hanged the king of Gai on a forked tree, and he was on the tree until evening. And when the sun set, Jesus gave instructions, and they took his body down from the tree, and threw him into the hole, and set over him a heap of stones, until this day.